we're just going to go through this. I'm going to take trades. If you got any questions, just post them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. I will admit I'm not very good at paying attention to both, so be patient if you post something and I'm not hearing you or not seeing it. But yeah, let's go through. I'm just going to trade, and the thing I'm going to focus on this today is really risk management. Risk management comes in two different forms to me. Risk management is not just the amount of risk at the initial loss that you're gonna set up with to take a trade, but it's also for me it's also the look of the trade. What are we trading? My computer feels a little glitchy right now, so be patient. Guess I need to be patient. Yeah, it feels like I'm moving faster. Look at my crosshairs are not keeping up with my. Let's see if we can refresh this. Let's see if this helps. Nope. All right, I'm going to try one more thing here because that's going to be irritating. We'll come out. Let's start it back up. Nope. Okay. I can be irritated. No worries. All right. So we're going to trade this kind of like I trade. I typically utilize the 4 hour. To see my trades, to see my setups. Oh, this is really lagging. And then once I see a setup, so we're coming down. I'm seeing a little bounce here. We have a gel line here. I'm seeing a setup come up, and so I'm going to go to the 1 hour to confirm that setup. To confirm that setup and see if I'm getting what I want. And I kind of do. I like this. We come down, we hit up hard, we're going sideways, trying to make a decision here. I call it walking the line on this gel line, and now we're taking off. This is a 2 touch point trend line. We do have the gel line is usually a support resistance level. So that's a quality 2 touch point break. I like that the second touch point's up in here and not like real close to where I'm breaking out. I find I have more success if it's bit touched, pulled away, come back. So we'll see how that plays out. And I'm gonna slow this down a bit because I usually get going too fast and I got to do a lot of pausing. All right. Ew, I like this. I actually like this better. All right, so we came up here, we walked. Now we've got a great reversal Twizzler here. It's sitting above the body of this candle, previous candle, and we're getting a hard push down. I'm gonna do a sell setup. I like that one a lot. I would enter here. And I like this because we're already coming down. We're already in this trade. We've already came here, hit. And now we're come here and hit. So that's looking real good. Yeah, everything's lagging. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. Let's just throw one contract. I go with a 20,000 account. I could probably go 2 contracts with that, but I'm just going to keep it at 1. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is MES. MES generally, if we go back to the 4 hour, is in a general upwards trend. It's just the way MES, NQ, and MYM are. Now they do have periodic downtrends, but if I were to go to the daily or something, you'll see that it's just really kind of going up and stuff. So this is up in trend. So anytime I'm doing a short on MES or MNQ and stuff, I consider that higher risk, because it's against its natural trend. So that's another element of risk that you have to think about when you're getting into it. I also look at how many touch points do I have. If it's a 2 touch point, which this one is 1, 2, it's a good long line. It's got a lot of data in it. I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of seeing this. Oh, this lag is really irritating me. Here's your touch point. You came up and you hit this and you're coming back down. This touch point's really close to the breakout, possible breakout. We haven't seen it break out yet. So those are things I'm looking at for risk, and that to me is a higher risk. So if I'm in a little bit higher risk trade, I don't want to go gambling a bunch of money. I know this is not gambling. This is playing business. This is like, you know, I could do a 240 that's a little over 1%, or I can preserve my capital, realize it's a risk, and just go in with one contract. So let's see what happens. Let's see if it even goes. It may just turn around. Is it going to turn around? Hmm. 9 o'clock. Let's go one bit at a time here. Yeah, I think we got a turnaround. So we're not a short now, we're a long. We've been coming down. There's a possible long here. I got a laser show above it. Let's check and see what that's going to be. We'll get in above the last high. We're at 116. We're going up with a laser show, meaning lots of points of getting hit. I do have a support resistance here that we're breaking. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to that one contract. I'm not 100% excited about, you know, its potential. Okay, we're in a trade. Now something I look at, and I'm gonna back that off a couple of minutes here. Okay, so something I'm looking at when I get into a trade is if I'm getting in, a good trade's going to take off. And one of my rules that I've taken on, and I'm not teaching you how to trade here. I'm teaching you how to backtest. I want you to take the things that I do and learn to, if you think you like it, try it, you know, work with it. But the idea is just to take back testing a little slower, a little more experimental, a little bit more in a trial basis. So one of my rules is once it gets going, if this is not taken off right away, I want to reduce my risk. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go just below this candle. In my eyes, we should never fall behind that candle. That's a good, strong, moving candle It's got hardly any wicks. It should be moving along. And so I'm going to move up. That took me from $123 risk to 177. The ideal is completely about keeping my money. I want to keep my money. I don't want to see, and this is why I do that. You get the fake outs. Now I could have held here, but now I'd been out 112 bucks, 120 bucks. Now I'm only out 77 bucks. So in a sense, I kind of made almost 50 bucks, 40 bucks on that trade because I didn't lose the full amount. If it's not gonna take off, it's not gonna be a good trade. So that's kind of how I do that. That is not, mind you, that is not Tori, 100% Tori approved system she teaches, but it's something that I've learned through my back testing that has helped me reduce risk and save my money so that I can fight another day. And then we got out here. Oops. There we go. All right, now we journal that baby. See what we got here. I'm going to take a screenshot. I like the screenshot. I want to come back and I want to see what happened. Why did it good turn around? What might have, what was going on with price action prior, left, everything. On my original back testing, I will also click on the 4 hour because I can get a bigger scope of it. And I'll take a picture of that. If there's any special notes I need, I'll put them here. Playbook, we did a 2 touch point breakout. We had the retest before. I need to go to the 1 hour because that's where I trade. So we had a retest prior to breakout. We had a good rejection. God, that really, I would have thought that would have worked out too. It was low risk. We had the support resistance level here. We had a gel line. We did not have a strong candle, did not have a full candle. We had a clear reversal. And we were with trend and trailing. Now we were with the macro, but not with, and that's just what I'm tracking here. And then move the stop up. I want to come here to my tags, my setup patterns. I like this as a reversal off of support resistance. My reversal time frame was in the 1 hour only. My trade management was stop loss was a safety line, and my trade management was a candle. And that's it. There's all these here. These are ones if you're in the beginner, more in the beginner state of back testing and trying to figure out your rules and all of these things. These are what I've come up with after all 4 phases of my back testing plus. And so these are what I trade live. And so this is what I'm back testing too, because I've gone through phase 4. I've got my rules. I've got everything is well set. Now I want to track those things that I feel are a big part of what makes my trades. And so that's where I'm at. Before that, in phase 3 and phase 4 of my backtesting plan, I just had a random, which was a lot of stuff on trade management. You know, was it per my rules? Not per my rules. Moved my stop off to action line. Where did I put my stop loss initially? How did I trade manage? How did I do my trade management? Did I do it by the safety line? Did I do a profit target? You know, did I have a set amount of dollars I wanted, a set amount of ticks, set amount of support resistance level, trend line, upper trend line, lower trend line, whatever the case may be. So, or did I use the safety line and a profit target? Maybe I had a good steeper safety line and a profit target, but if it went below my safety line, I wanted to take a profit. I want to close the trade. So those are things to think about. If you're into phase 1 and 2, these are some of the points that I did. You know, wanted to know what my trend line looked like, information on my trend line, information about the candle, the entry, because these are things that matter. You know, these are things that are helping you see that price action. What was the candle reaction when I entered? Was it a full candle after breaking? See, I still track that. Strong candle, full candle in my playbooks. So by tracking all this stuff in the phase 1 and 2, I started learning and seeing what I want to see when I see those candles after breaking out. And that's one of the reasons why seeing this candle here, this Twizzler just do a reversal on me, immediately tells me I need to get my stop loss closed, because this is telling me that it wasn't time. But mind you, I'm saying this, but I trade the 1 hour time frame. If you're trading a 15-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, of course, most of this was based off the 4-hour too. It's working for me in the 1 hour. But I've never traded the 15-minute. I never traded the 5-minute. I never traded the 30-minute or 10-minute or whatever it is you're trading. So you need to start finding what works for you on that. I know some people who trade the 15-minute, and one of their key setups is trading a bounce. I know some people who trade and keep to a 100 tick take profit, or 150, or whatever it is per the instrument. So you got to find those things and start experimenting differently with all those things. I had overall trend. Was I in gel? Was the macro trend up or down? And that helped me. Knowing that and getting familiar with that helped me know that MES, MNQ are generally uptrending macro, and it does these micro downtrends. And I've learned to place a rule that if I'm opposite of the macro trend, that I set a take profit, and I set I consider it a higher risk trade. So I don't want to go in heavy. I want to go in lighter. I want to keep tighter, and I'm kind of almost expecting it to not, because I can't count on news events that really push an instrument against the trend, like we had Thursday and Friday. So it's experimenting with all these things that helps you define your rules and define your systems. You know, if you look at my playbooks, you know, my playbooks have a lot of stuff. I don't expect to hit every single item, because I can track later. Once I've gotten enough playbooks hit, I can track and see what's hitting the most. But you can see I have my setups. So and this is kind of a general statement for me, because I work off of reversals. I want to see specific reversal patterns, something that I learned from my support resistance. Those are things I like to see before I enter a trade. So my question is always, was it before, which most of the time it is, Or was it after the break? Sometimes I get a break, but it's a small break and it'll come back down onto that action line and then take off. Again, they all have to be low risk, no more than 2%. My added confluences are, was there a support resistance level at the trend line breakout? And that's going to be anything within a couple, real close to the breakout, whether before or after. Was it a strong candle at breakout? That's usually a better signal. A full candle after breakout? Was there a clear, strong reversal? And then on my trade management, which I usually come in afterwards, against the trend, exit at a defined point, against the trend, trail candle. So I can trail it, but that's usually if I have 2 contracts. I'll exit one to lock in and get myself, into some kind of profits. And then I can trail the second one. If I'm with a trend, I can trail the candle. If I'm with a trend, I can also add at defined points. So if I'm going up, I can say, okay, this support resistance level, we break that, I'm going to add a contract. If it's going sideways, I will hold until the safety line's breached. If the safety line's breached going sideways, chances are I'm going to just go ahead and kill the trade. Hopefully I'm in profit and reset my screen up and wait for a breakout of the sideways trend. If the structure breakdown, exit after a new point B. That's kind of what happened here. This was instant structure breakdown, and I just pushed up, got out, and then moving my stop loss to action line. So these things all came from my experimentation and my testing and my going through this slowly and methodically, and building the things that I see and I saw to make my rule book. Now, I didn't want to mess this up because I have a feeling we're going right into a short here. Yeah, that is a super strong push down. So I'm going to go right straight into a short. This is why I'm not afraid to kill a trade early, because you never know what's coming up next. I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to set my stop loss here. We're at 86 bucks. I like that. I want to see something though. Let's go put this down here. That's 245. That's before this mess down here. So let's go with that. It's supposed to be a sell. I probably messed that all up. I need to take profit down here and the stop loss up here. Boom. Okay. Sell one. So this is what I'm saying, that when you got a good trade, now I've got this support resistance level right here. So I need to be ready to kill this trade because it may not want to go past this. I'm going to pull this down to break even. We've gotten moves down. We've now broke this tail. For as far as I'm concerned, we're moving down, and remember we got this guy might cause us a headache. All right, we're in the middle of the night. I'm not watching this, so I'm going to jump. And it powered right back out. So this trade ended up $5, break even. We had our stop loss up here, and it was this support line that killed it. That's just what killed it right there. We got in here. And we pretty much exited the same spot, so I don't need to put an exit there. But I do want to put that, I do want to note that I had a TP down here. Okay. Again, feel free to ask any questions if you have any. This is also a nice little thing. You put in your session notes. You can put your little your playbooks that you're building, and maybe you have it, maybe you don't. Maybe you got some questions. You know, you're not sure, but you can always put it here. You can always pause it before you get in. Take a look. Is this hitting my rules? Yes, it's hitting my rules. Move on. So trade notes. We just did a short. Got the 1 hour. Again, I like to do the 4 hour as well, just to get a bigger picture. Playbook. We had 1, 2. We actually had a 3 touch point there. We had the reversal above here. We had a great, I like that reversal. Surprised that didn't work out. We had low risk. We did and didn't. I'm not going to add that one. We did have a strong candle at the breakout. It was a good, big, strong candle. Against the trend, I set a defined point and tags. Setup pattern was I'm going to call that a reversal off a trend line. Did the 4 hour have a reversal? Yes. Both of them showed a reversal. So that should have been a strong play with that. Trade management. We had our stop loss at the safety line, and we trailed via candle. And there you go. I've recorded it. I can come back, clean my chart, and reset everything. Now I know there's a lot of work for the 5-minute, 15-minute traders, and probably the desire is just to blow through and go. But this isn't a race. You're in this is practice. This is like trying to figure out how to perfect the free throw shot or your chip, or for golfing, chipping. How can I perfect the 50-yard chip? Things like that. So it's not something you're just flying through. You want to take it a little more methodical, a little bit more thought, a little more process. In my eyes, I never see myself not back testing. Markets change, things happen. So I'm always looking to keep up with things. And then until I'm making, I've got 3 or 4 years of making 300,000-400,000 a year. I don't even want to consider not back testing. It's just, to me, it's just going to be a part of it until I'm at that level. So we can take this guy, we can put him here, but I don't really like it. Yeah. Very good stuff. Started to watch your videos in YouTube. Thank you. Trying to apply everything from them. Thank you. Your time frame 4 hours. 4 hours is a tough one. So I've traded it. I've done it. It's good. If you got a good enough ability with risk, the 1 ounce silver could help you with that if you got a low starting capital. MYM's a good one. MBT, that's a good one for if you got a low capital to start with. I trade with a $20,000 capital, up and down. I haven't quite bursted that bubble yet. And I find that gold, micro gold, and MES can be sometimes tough to get a trade on because I just can't get my risk where I want it. So it gets tough. Welcome, Marie. Mary or Marie? I don't know. One of those two. Good. Glad to have you here. I don't know if you're familiar. I have all of these videos loaded to my YouTube, and